Oculus is a film that tells the story of two siblings, Kaylee and Tim Russell, who are haunted by an evil mirror that caused the death of their parents 11 years ago. The film alternates between the past and the present, showing how the mirror corrupted their father Alan and their mother Marie, and how Kaylee and Tim try to destroy it in the present. The film begins with a flashback of Kaylee and Tim as children, trying to escape from their house in the middle of the night. They are confronted by their father, who is holding a gun and is under the influence of the mirror. He shoots at them, but misses. Tim manages to grab the gun and shoots his father in self-defense, killing him. The police arrive and take Tim away to a psychiatric hospital, while Kaylee is sent to a foster home. In the present, Tim is released from the hospital, having been treated for his trauma, and convinced that there was nothing supernatural about his parents' deaths. He meets with Kaylee, who works at an auction house and has tracked down the mirror that was in their father's office. She has also researched its history and discovered that it has been involved in many deaths and tragedies over the centuries. She believes that the mirror is responsible for everything that happened to their family, and she wants to prove it by documenting its powers and destroying it. Kaylee has set up a room in their old house with surveillance cameras, thermometers, timers, alarms, plants, and a dog. She also has a kill switch, which is an anchor attached to the ceiling that will smash the mirror if triggered. She convinces Tim to join her in her experiment, despite his skepticism. They place the mirror on a stand and cover it with a cloth. As they begin to monitor the mirror's effects, they start to experience hallucinations and distortions of reality. The mirror manipulates their senses, making them see and hear things that are not there, or making them forget or doubt what they have done or said. The mirror also affects the environment around them, causing the temperature to drop, the plants to die, and the dog to disappear. The mirror also interferes with the cameras and the timers, making them malfunction or show false readings. Kaylee shows Tim some footage from one of the cameras that shows her biting into a light bulb instead of an apple as she thought she did. She also shows him her wound on her mouth that proves that she was bleeding from the glass shards. Tim is shocked by this evidence, but still tries to rationalize it by suggesting that Kaylee might have switched the apple with the light bulb herself without realizing it. Kaylee then shows Tim some photos of their parents before they moved into the house. She points out how happy and healthy they looked back then compared to how they became after they encountered the mirror. She also tells him some stories about the previous owners of the mirror who died or suffered horrible fates because of it. Kaylee explains that she has a plan to expose and destroy the mirror once and for all. She says that she has set up a system of alarms that will go off every 30 minutes to remind them to eat, drink, and stay alert. She also says that she has programmed the kill switch to activate automatically after 24 hours, if they fail to do so manually. She says that she has contacted several media outlets and experts who will come to witness their experiment after they succeed. Tim is still doubtful about Kaylee's plan and her obsession with the mirror. He thinks that she is suffering from delusions and denial, just like their parents did. He tries to persuade her to leave the house with him and seek professional help. Kaylee refuses to listen to Tim and insists on staying until they finish their mission. She tells him that he can leave if he wants to, but he has to promise not to call anyone or interfere with her experiment. She says that she loves him and hopes that he will stay with her. Tim decides to stay with Kaylee for now, hoping that he can convince her later or find a way out of this situation. As Kaylee and Tim continue their experiment, they start to uncover some hidden memories from their childhood, revealing more details about what happened to their parents. In the flashbacks, we see how Alan bought the mirror from an auction and placed it in his office. He became obsessed with it and started to neglect his family and his work. He also became violent and abusive towards Marie and the children. He was seduced by a ghostly woman named Marisol, who had mirrors for eyes, and was trapped inside the mirror. Marie became paranoid and depressed, seeing herself as old and decaying in the mirror. She also heard Alan talking to Marisol in his office. One night, Marie tried to kill Kaylee and Tim with a knife, but Alan locked her in his office with the mirror. He also chained her to the wall and starved her. Kaylee and Tim tried to get help from their neighbors, but they were either away or did not believe them. They also tried to call 911, but the mirror made them dial wrong numbers or disconnected them. That's when Tim grabbed the gun from him and shot him in the chest. Back in the present, Kaylee and Tim realize that they have been tricked by the mirror into reliving their past trauma. They'd also discover that they have killed their dog Mason instead of smashing one of the cameras as they thought they did. They decide to activate the kill switch manually by pulling a lever on the wall. However, as they approach the lever, they see their parents' ghosts standing behind them. They turn around and hug them, thinking that they are real. The ghosts then stab them with shards of glass from another picture frame. The cloth covering the mirror falls off. The police arrive and break into the house. They find Tim holding Kaylee's dead body and the gun next to him. They arrest him and take him away. Tim tries to explain that it was the mirror that did it, but they don't believe him. He looks at the mirror and sees Marisol smiling at him.